Thank you all for tuning into my channel. Tonight we're going to talk about success, or today, whichever time you're watching this. We're going to talk about Success 101. Basically, we're going to go back to the basics of what success really is. A lot of us, or some of us, think that success means a couple things. On one side is I'm gonna bless people, I'm gonna do all these great things, I'm gonna start this movement, I'm gonna change the world. We get all excited and pumped up, but really behind what it is that we're not saying, because a lot of people start businesses and start things for one reason in public, but really they're masking insecurity, or they're masking something else. So on this side is I want to bless people, I want to do things for people, but really what's showing up is we want to show out for other people. Let everybody know, who we grew up with, we made it. We're doing all these things. Yes, I went off to college. Yes, I went off and went to law school. I have Esquire behind my name now. You have a doctorate or whatever. So Dr. Johnson sounds better than just Mr. Johnson or whatever it is. A lot of times we're doing things to show off to people that we grew up with, or show off to people just in general that we met in walks of life. So everybody on social media think we're doing such awesome things now. And what's really funny is we go into debt trying to show out to people who aren't even keeping up with us or care to know what we're currently doing, right? We're doing all these things. We're showing out. We got all these, we got the cars, we got the house. We got all these things that have put us in debt because we couldn't pay for them originally. And we're trying to show off for people who aren't even watching or don't even care. That's one side of it. Some people think that success is seeking approval from people that's really close to us, or people that we actually respect or look up to. Sometimes their approval means more to us. So we end up doing things or trying things in our life that would normally be whack to us, and we wouldn't even pursue. Like, some people don't even want to be physical therapists right now. I know Heather Lindsay said there are so many people sitting in somebody else's purpose, and there's so many people sitting in other people's jobs because we haven't taken the time to figure out what it is that we want to do, because we're trying to get the approval of other people. And what's so crazy about approval is, on the other side of approval, we won't even know what that looks like, or if it will even change anything. For an example, guys, a lot of guys, the world would probably be a whole different place if maybe it wouldn't, if dads would tell their sons, I'm proud of you. Most sons just want to hear, I'm proud of you. That one sentence probably would change our entire world, right? But we don't even know, even if you got that sentence from your dad and he truly meant it from the bottom of his heart, if it would change anything. Approval has nothing to do with the other person, it has everything to do with us. And the truth is, success is too hard. It is too much work for us to always desire or base our decisions off of the acceptance of other people. It's already hard enough. And now, not only do you have what it is that you want to do, but what you're now doing just to impress other people. You got approval on this side and acceptance on this side, and the one line from your dad that you want to hear so bad on your back. And that's a lot of weight to carry, especially if you're trying to continue climbing the ladder of your purpose. So my question to you all, what does success look like to you? Does it mean generational wealth? I know that's one of mine. Does it mean a close relationship with your family members? A hot bath could be your definition of success, twice a week. I know that Robin Sharma, I hope I'm saying his name right. He's on YouTube. YouTube him. He's amazing. He talks about how he gets 3 massages a week. Like, it's in his schedule. He's doing it. It makes him feel better. It relaxes his muscles, because all the things that he does throughout the week, he takes time in his schedule to get 3 massages every single week. That is a definition for somebody of one thing that means success to them, right? Holding a friend after they've lost somebody and you can't do anything for them might be your definition of success. Buying somebody a car that you don't know, starting a basketball team for kids in your community that don't have anything to do after school that's, you know, positive. Starting a Fortune 500 company might be your definition of a success. Having the #1 selling book might be your definition of success. My definition is laughing every single day. It's one of my, I have several. Laughing every single day, making sure I have assets and investments and a certain amount saved, kicking it with my grandmother, laughing with my family, spending time with them, making sure. I love Steve Harvey said something that was amazing. He said he wants his children's children to know who he is. And the only way that can happen is if he leaves them something. And I was like, I want to leave my grandkids something, you know, and they know who I am and they know my name because I left them something. Honestly, success for me is kissing my man every day, every single day. Kissing my husband every day, even if we're like in disagreement or whatever it is. That's something that I see as a success because it's something that I enjoy and love. So to me, that's a part of something that I include in my version of what success is. Even holding up my children's award to heaven and saying, Mom, look, your prayers worked. They're still working. They're still lasting. Look what your grandson or your granddaughter did. And just showing it off to her in heaven. But we get to define, what my point is we get to define what success is for us, period. Not society, not people who are in our lives or whatever. We get to define success in every single thing, in every single area, period. So these are 5 truths I want you all to just go ahead and engrave in your minds that's the truth about success. The first thing is we waste too much time on the how when we really need to be focusing more on the why of why we're doing this. Devon Franklin said something that I never heard put this way. I don't know if you all have ever heard the story of the master and his servants when he gave them talents. He gave one man 5 talents. He gave another man 2 talents. And he gave the last servant 1 talent. And Devon broke it down like he never told them what to do, where to put it, where to store it, whether to grow it or expand it. He never even told them when he was coming back. And I was like, he didn't, you know. And a lot of times we're waiting on direction. We're waiting on leadership. We're waiting on somebody to tell us A through Z. And majority of the time that never happens. So a lot of people just stand still right there. People stand still with their idea. They stand still with their why. They stand still with what they said they were going to do earlier this year. And they do nothing because they're waiting on direction. And I truly believe that all of us are smart enough and we have enough within us to get stuff done. The only thing that's holding us back is our action and our efforts. And my thing is always starting with writing it down. Write down the idea. That's the biggest thing that you could do, because you don't think you will lose it, but you'll lose it because there's so many other things that's forming in our brain. I read something where we have over 10,000 thoughts that go through our mind every 7 to 10,000 thoughts every single day that goes through our mind. You need to write stuff down. So that's the first thing. Don't waste time on the how. The second thing is, who is in your life that asks you the tough question? And I got this from Jim Rohn's book, Take Control of Your Life. You can listen to it on YouTube. And he talks about we don't have enough people in our lives that ask us questions that make us think bigger and expand how we look at things, and put us in different areas and different time zones, and how we can move in this area in a different way than we would ever even think of. We need people in our lives that ask us tough questions. You need somebody in your life that actually makes you think of questions that you don't have the answer to for weeks. Like, that's what kind of expansion I'm talking about. Like, you got to really sit down like, dang, my spiritual coach, this woman is phenomenal. It's like she walked with God her whole life. I'm like, I would never think of that. It's amazing. It's amazing how she thinks. But you need people like that in your life. And I'm going to say this, and I pray I don't offend somebody, but if you're in the aisle, you shouldn't have had your feet out, because I'm about to walk straight through the aisle. Okay. You also need people outside your race. People that don't look like you, talk like you, act like you, grew up on the same street as you, walk like you. You have the only way for us to truly expand and to grow. And Jim Rohn actually talks about this in their book. You can't hang around people that look just like you all the time, because people don't talk like you, and people don't think the way you think. And the only way for you to get better, because it's really about you being better, is hanging around people that's different. I mean, me volunteering with inner city kids and going to the White House, two different levels. But I know how to be myself in every environment, and each environment I grow in. This environment actually teaches me more than me hanging out at the White House, me being at the Pentagon, me working for the government. I've been in some very, very nice places with very prestigious people, and I think it's very important to surround yourself with different people, every race, every color. It doesn't even matter their background, because there's something that you can take away from that person that you never would have got hanging around people that look just like you. I'm going to move on. The third thing for success, it takes time. I know we want a cookie cutter overnight. I am recording this on an iPhone. If Steve Jobs would have gave up in month 1, there wouldn't be all these Apple products. Who is touching Apple right now? Nobody. Still waiting to get a MacBook, but nobody's touching them. And that's because it took him time, but he kept going through the process. Think about a bamboo. It takes a bamboo 2 to 3 years to grow. Avocado, it takes 3 to 4 years. And what we really can learn from is like animals. Ants, gosh, those people work. Like, I think the most creative animal, and the smallest. So small in stature, but really we can learn a lot from an ant. I didn't plan on talking about an ant, but seriously, there's so many things that we can learn as far as discipline and self-control and the art of grinding. We can look at an ant and see that trait. That's number 3. Number 4 is 2 pictures that I printed out, and these are on my wall. This is a picture of what success really looks like. It's an iceberg. And of course, at the top, you see the word success, because that's all that people see. People see the standing ovations, they see the glow, they see the #1 bestsellers, they see the house, they see the car, they see all the pictures on Facebook, but they don't see the hard work, the persistence, the late nights, the rejection, the sacrifices, the discipline, the risks, the failures. They don't see you crying. They don't see you stressed out in the middle of your floor, hair falling out. They don't see all that. They see the glory, but nobody talks about the background. Mark Cuban's book, How to Win at the Sport of Business, his secretary stole all of his money, everything. And he's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks now. But she stole everything from this man. He said he haven't seen her since that day, but she took everything. She could have at least left this man $100, but she took everything. And of course, he talks about something that was really funny. He says, everybody wants to say that you're an overnight success because of your one idea, but nobody sees the 10 years that nobody knew of you, that nobody saw the grind and the hard work and the late nights. Nobody sees that, because that's not the catchy story that gets everybody's attention. It's I came from Mississippi, but now I'm a billionaire. They don't care about this part. They only want to see the glory, and that's just not life, and that's not success. Another one is Jacob's Ladder. This is one of my favorite equipments at the gym. As you can see, it's like an incline. Both of them are standing where their body is like this. The best cardio ever. Like, you will sweat like forever. But basically their body is at an incline, and every time I'm going up this ladder, I'm just thinking about my life and thinking about the grind and everything that I want to do. And with Jacob's Ladder, you have to grip on to keep moving, because it's like a rotating belt. It keeps spinning, right? So with every time I'm grabbing on, I'm like, This is how life is. It's continuous. I'll never reach the mark. I'll have to continue getting to know myself. I'll have to continue developing and learning and trying and forgiving other people, forgiving myself continuously, asking God to forgive me. I'm gonna have to continue on this journey. You're gonna have to keep doing squats and lunges and trying different ways to get to know your kids and relearning your spouse all over. There's no mark. There's no I've accomplished it and I'm done. There's no I've mastered this and I have nothing else to learn. Even the masters of masters still have to learn stuff, still have to go through stuff, still have to renew their mind every single day. Because the thing is about people that we look up to and we admire, they get the most attacks because they're in the spotlight all the time. And of course, anybody in the spotlight, the world just wants to bring down just to show that there is no such, which there is no such thing as perfection. But my point is, they deal with a lot more stuff than we probably ever would, which I'm grateful for because I don't have time for. But in closing, success is not about chasing money. It's about chasing more of who you are, chasing more of who you'll become, chasing change, chasing development, chasing peace, chasing contentment, chasing relationships. Not chasing relationships with a point where like I'm begging somebody to be my friend or in a relationship with me or anything like that, but chasing to be better in those relationships, because we'll always be in relationships with people unless you become the only person on earth, which that'd be kind of boring. But for the rest of this year, even going into next year, what all of us should be chasing is what can we do today to bless the rest of this year, or to bless our next year or the next 15 years? What can you do today? Whether that's going to the gym, whether that's studying the word, whether that's reading a book, whether that's calling a friend and say, I forgive you, whatever it is. What can you do today that's going to bless your 2019, your 2020, your 2043? What can you do today? That's what success really is. It's basically you are failing your way to success, but you get to write your definition of it, period. I've enjoyed you all. Make sure you all share this video with your friends. I know that Success 101 is going to help somebody, like it's definitely helped me. Night.